Hey everyone, it's Kat. So normally my videos focus on a lot of the adventuring aspects to EQ2 and what's going on in Noreth, but for this video I want to look at some of the other things we have to do to keep us busy and occupied and have fun with. So if you like decorating, if you like crafting, or maybe you just want a change of pace, maybe the grind of adventuring is kind of getting to you. I know that happens to me sometimes. So you want to take a little bit of a break and do something else. Well, how about stopping by one of our really cool monthly events like a city festival or Moonlight Enchantments? So you'll see right now I'm perusing some of the wares at the city festival in New Hallis. Now, the beginning of each month, so first week, the 1st through 7th, is when the city festivals occur. The cities rotate, so there's going to be a different one every month, as do some of the offerings that they have. So you'll find housing items that really reflect the colors and the architecture of the hosting city from this very first specialty merchant that I'm looking at right now. And those items are going to change from month to month depending on where you're at. So New Hallis, Kinos, Kellethan, Freeport, Gorwin, Nariak, they're all going to have very different items from this vendor. And as you can see, I'm kind of going through what he's offering to give you an idea of what I'm talking about. So building blocks as well as furniture. They do have a couple different outfits and banners, that type of thing. So again, like I said, it reflects, so the hosting city, so for New Hallis, you see, you get a lot of ice blocks, ice flooring, and things like that. So really cool if you want to make like an outdoor scene too. Or even really good for making aquariums. You'll also have a special collection, shinies to pick up during the city festivals, so those award a post box, so like a post office box, and each one of those are going to be a little bit different styled, kind of really reflect again the architecture of the city. The New Hallis one is very different looking from all the other ones. The other ones are much more similar, just with different coloring. Okay, so that's the first vendor. Now the rest of these vendors here at the festival, they are going to be the same month after month after month. So this vendor here has a lot of house items. He has paintings, which are really cool. Has some decorations, also has some clothing items, so appearance gear. He also has the imperceptible beauty appearance gear, which basically gives the appearance of nothing. So if say like you have an outfit and maybe you don't want to wear gloves with it, or you want it to be sleeveless, you can use the imperceptible beauty items to give you that sleeveless look, but still being actually to wear armor. So I do that a lot. I think a lot of times the outfit can be too busy, and that helps. Another cool thing that this merchant has that you might want to think about getting is portal pads. So if you want to place down portal pads in your house, maybe you want to do a breakout section, you need portal pads to do that. So this is the merchant you want to pick this up from. Now, if you're wondering what currency these vendors at the city festival use, is they use the city tokens. So you've been hopefully leveling up your crafter, you've got a good stash of city tokens going. This is where you can spend them, is in the city festivals. And there's also going to be a couple of quests that you can do during the city festival to earn those tokens as well, if you don't have very many, or if you want more to buy something specific. Okay, so then the next vendor here is going to be a food merchant. So it's actually kind of interesting names to the food. So if you're an RPer and you get into like the festival theme, you know, cotton candy or different items that he has might be fun to play with. The stats on the food though aren't very good. So and I think it only goes up to level 100. So if you are thinking, you know, hey, that's good food, maybe I want to buy that and give it to my toon, only do it for RP purposes. You'll find better food with better stats for cheaper, just off the broker buying from other players. And then the last merchant is going to be another clothing merchant, but she sells temporary wear. So if you only want to wear something for a day and you have city tokens to burn, you can do that. I think the only thing that they have that isn't really available from the other merchant that you can actually buy and own those pieces and wear them whenever you want are these geese here, which I think are pretty cool, and I wish they had them in other places that you could get them at. So after we finish with the merchants, I want to take you over and show you the quest giver, Kel. He's over here by the fire, and usually he's pretty close to the merchants in their tents, and he's going to offer you 3 different quests that you can do for him, and again, earn more city tokens. He's going to say you can either craft some food for them, you can go harvest in the area for them, or you can do a supply run for them, which actually is going to send you all the way to the Isle of Mara, do a small quest there, and then come back. And of course there is one more quest you can do after this, which is pretty fun. In New Hellas, it's all the way back down on the docks by the World Bell, but you can do the Aether races. So this is basically like an aerial obstacle course that they send you flying all through Norath and through these hoops until you come back around to the beginning. Okay, and then last thing I want to do is I'm actually going to take you to one of my storage houses for my alts, just to show you some of the different items that the different cities have to offer. So like I said, I like to decorate, I like to go to these city festivals, and I do tend to stock up. Now I don't have everything, this isn't like an exhaustive, this is everything you can get from Kelethan, but the furniture you see in front of you, this is a lot of this comes from the Kelethan City Festival that I've just accumulated and stored in case I need it later, so I don't want to wait 6 months till the next time Kelethan comes around. So you see it has a lot of furniture, and it has a lot of that kind of golden oak look to it, which is very in keeping with Kelethan and the acorn houses that you have there. And I don't have any here, I haven't saved any, but it does have building blocks that are along that same color scheme. Next I'm going to show you Freeport. So Freeport is very much this black marble look. And you see I've got different building blocks, I've got floors, I've got walls with windows in them. I don't have any regular walls, though they do sell it. They have columns, counters, there's a lot more to it, but like I said, I don't have everything. Next I'm going to show you the Neriac ones, which are very similar to this, but instead of the black marble, it's going to be more of a teal marble. So again, you have the building blocks, you have some furniture, and a couple other kind of items. Like they have these lampposts that I really like, I think are really cool, and for me, I use them a lot during like Nights of the Dead. So because they have that kind of creepy look to them, which can be nice. Okay, and then lastly, I'm going to show you the building blocks and some of the furniture from Gorowen. So again, it's this marble block, but this is a dark red marble, kind of red and black to it a little bit, plus the wood furniture that really looks like Gorowen. Now unfortunately I don't have any Kinos items to show you, but it's the marble, but for Kinos it's a white marble, and then furniture that kind of looks like some of the Kinosian things. And that is your city festival. So the other really cool monthly event that we get is Moonlight Enchantments. So on the 20th and the 21st of every month, these little portals with these mushroom wings are going to appear in 5 different zones in Norath. So Antonica, Neculos Forest, Greater Fadark in the nursery area, Darklight Woods, which is the one I just went through and that we're in right now, and the Enchanted Lands. So you come into these grottos, and there is going to be at least one quest giver. In some of these, like this one, there are 2. And if you go to this back one, this is actually repeatable. So he asks you to do him a favor, and that's to make him some root beer. So I'm going to oblige, because in return he's going to give me these crystals. So, and I can make root beer as much or as little as I want for him, depending on how many crystals I want. And you'll see I'm going to do a little bit of harvesting, and when I want to craft it, there's that tree stump right behind that quest giver that is going to work as a workstation for me. And I want to do this because there are merchants in these zones, and in exchange for those crystals I can buy stuff from this merchant. So again, it's a ton of house items, And a lot of them are really cool. They're outdoor decorations like trees and bushes and landscaping items. You get some tiles. There's also some appearance gear that you can wear, like little circlets, little hats. And I'll show you guys. I'll run through them really quick. And there is, like I said, there is a second quest here, but you can only do that once. But for these little circlets, and these items are actually pretty cheap. It doesn't take a whole lot of these stones to buy these. But each of the 5 different zones, each of the 5 different grottos will offer different housing items. And they also have plushies that you can get here too. So what you want to do is, you know, rack up as many of these little stones that you can, these little crystals, and buy all your decorations that you want once a month. So the 20th and 21st. And these are all the ones, like I said, this is the Dark Light Wood Grotto with the brownies and the satyrs. So the entrance is not that far from the Druid Wings, kind of where the little lake and the kind of where the old volcano was, where the little vultures are. So the other grotto we have is in Neck Forest, and this is right next to the Wizard Spire in Neck Forest. So you see it's right there. I turn around and there are the mushroom wings. So I'm going to zone into a completely different grotto with this one, and this one has more of a kind of cave underground mushroom theme. So there's 2 quests in here, and you'll see there's that big kind of tree looking creature right in front of me that offers a quest, and I do 1 quest for him and he's done, but there's a repeatable in the back, and they also have shinies in here too, so make sure you get those. But this elf in the back is going to offer me repeatable quests. I'll do some harvesting in the zone, and the fire next to her works as the workstation in here. This is the merchant, and again, he's going to offer a ton of housing items. He's going to offer crystals and mushrooms and rocks, and it's kind of more his theme. He's also going to have plushies. He's going to have tiles. He's going to have a couple appearance things that I can wear as hats or circlets. And again, the more times I do the repeatable, the more crystals I get, the more stuff I can buy from him. And you want to make sure that as you do these, this zone, once you leave it, you can't get back in. So you can always send in another tune. You can trade your crystals back and forth between tunes if you need to. But don't pop in here thinking you can come back in the next day, because it will lock you out until the next month. And they actually do offer quite a few items. Okay, so that is Neculus Forest. And then we'll move on to the next one. Now I'm in Enchanted Lands. Again, I'm at the Wizard Spire. So if I turn around and I run, it's just over this little next hill here. You'll see there's more mushroom wings. So there's a whole nother grotto to go in here and explore, to do a quest, and to earn some crystals and buy some stuff. So now this one is the Naiads. There is no repeatable quest in here. There's an Elder Naiad right across this bridge that I'm running at. You can see she has the feather over her head and the merchant's over here in the corner, but I can only do 1 quest for her. So if I want to buy stuff from this merchant, means I need to do repeatables in other zones and then bring those crystals here. And I'm going to go through her options real quick too. Again, she has plushies, she has a lot of house items, and these are all different from the other zones I looked at. One thing that she does have that's a little bit different from most of these grottos is she actually does have 3 different illusions for me. And you see she does have the octopus there if you want to do a fish tank. But she has 3 different illusions. So they're naiad illusions. So you get 3 different versions of the naiads. And they last for a little over 6 hours each, and you get, I think it's a stack of 20. So you can have 20 charges if you want to do that. And they don't run out if you're not playing. So if you log off and you have 5.5 hours left, you log back in a day later, you still have 5.5 hours left. And all these have lots of outdoor stuff, trees and bushes and vines. Okay, here are the naiad ones that I was talking about. And there's only, out of the 5 grottos, there's only 2 that have illusions. So lots of very tropical plants. I like using those in some of my houses that have more of a tropical feel. Okay, and that is the Naiad Grotto in Enchanted Lands. So this next one, we are in Greater Fadark. We're in the nursery, so the newbie beginner zone. Right now, this is an evil tune, so I can't get to the bell here. But if you're good aligned, you should be able to get a choice and come straight here to the bell right there. But the mushroom ring is right here in the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and zone in. Now this next zone is probably, well, I mean, it definitely is the biggest of all the grottos that you can zone into. So you actually do have a little ways to run before you find your quest giver. So, and there is only one quest in here, but it is a repeatable. So you want to go all the way to find kind of the little fairy queen at the very end. And I'm going to stop to pick up the shiny real quick. But you'll see her up here. Like right there is the merchant, and she's talking to me, but over here on my right is the fairy queen with the feather. So she's going to give me a repeatable. She's going to ask me to make some tea for her. And the ingredients are all harvestables here in the zone. It's these little purple flowers that have the little sparkles coming off of them. You can see them, they're all over the place. And there's one just right here I'm going to bend down and pick up. And then there's these honeycombs. And they're usually on the sides of plants, rocks around the zone, so I'm going to harvest there. And then I'm going to go right back to the queen. And this yellow flower just to her left, that's your workstation. That's where you make the tea. Okay, a lot of people get confused and have a hard time finding it, but it's just right next to her, and it's the only one that's yellow. Okay, so, and here's the merchant for this zone. So I'm going to, yep, and she's just right next to the flower there. So one of the cool things about the items here is that you actually have mounts. Okay, these are just temporary mounts, but if you're a really new player or if you just started a brand new alt, you can get a 20 charges of a mount. So they last for 10 days, right? So it's a fair amount of time, and you have 20 charges. And it's that brown unicorn, but there's also a white one that you can get as well if you'd prefer the white version. Okay, and then again, lots of flowers, lots of plants, plushies, lots of decorations. So lots of cool things from this merchant. Tiles, and these little moving mush guys. So I did a lot of visits to the grotto when I was decorating the exterior of my guild hall for the gardens. Lots and lots of tea, lots and lots of root beer making. Okay, and then our very last grotto and our last mushrooming is going to be in Antonica. Now this is the one that's actually probably furthest from any of the the wizard spires or rings. The closest way to get to here is probably from the bell at the docks, and you notice I pulled up the map. It's in Archer's Wood, at the southern end of it, and what you want to do is find the road that goes through that southern area of Archer's Road, and you'll see the mushroom rings not too far off of it. And this is going to take us into like the nymph grotto. So there is no repeatable in this one, okay? Just like the naiads, there is just one quest, and if you look straight ahead from where I am now, that's your one quest giver. So if you want to buy stuff from the merchant in here, make sure you do the repeatables in the other zones, and then come with plenty of stones, crystals to this merchant. You have to run down the spiral a bit to find her, because she's down here a little ways. But she actually has a mount as well. I'm not going to call it a flying carpet because it isn't. It's more like a hovering carpet. It doesn't fly, but she has that. It's the same thing as the unicorns from the last one we looked at, where it lasts for about 10 days. There's 20 charges to it. But this one has a lot of ocean themed items. So if you wanted to do aquarium in your guild or in your house, a lot of the items here. Plus she also has illusions. So she has like both the corrupted and the nice illusion. And not the white mount that I was talking about, that was just leftover, but she has these illusions, and just like the naiads, they last for 6 days, 20 charges. And then again, lots of what looks like could be seaweed or sea coral, shells, things to do for like an aquarium. And there's the hovering carpet that I was talking about. So for me, I find that comes in really handy if you have a newer toon or if you're just starting out. I do want to mention also is that a lot of these crafting quests that you get in these zones, if you are working on building up your crafter and you're trying to level them, doing crafting in Moonlight Enchantments during those city festivals is an awesome way to do it, but especially Moonlight Enchantments, because you don't have to buy fuel. You don't need to waste harvest that you could use or sell because it's all inside the grottos, and you actually do get a fair amount of XP doing it in these zones. Right, thank you guys for watching my video. Check out the festivals and Moonlight Enchantments. Have a good one.